DIDDY, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein. These three men represented the upper crust of society, rising to the top of their fields. But they all shared a dark similarity in common. All three of them were Hall of Fame perverts.
FBI, open up!
With the recent FBI raid of Diddy's home, a startling trend of heinous crimes against women and youths amongst the most powerful people in our society has been brought to the forefront yet again.
How can you shoot women and children?
Easy! You just don't lead them so much!
Before Diddy, it was the double team that cracked the case wide open. One after the other, Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein were exposed for some heinous shit, and they implicated pretty much every person they came into contact with. Those people didn't decide to do the decent thing and report them to the FBI. No! They instead decided to enable them for years. These are the kind of people I like to call skinwalkers. The definition is simple. Skinwalkers are shallow and soulless people whose personalities are only skin deep. They lack morals and are more than okay with abusing other people to their own advantage because they view them as expendable.
Hey, Paul!
Most skinwalkers are born into the skinwalker caste, but some skinwalkers are made. They live in a bubble with their own kind and only make appearances to the public in well-lit, well-rehearsed, well-scripted interviews and speaking engagements. If you've ever seen an award ceremony, it's essentially a who's who of the skinwalkers. Many public faces, of course, but also guys you've never heard about who have tremendous sway over our society. And these people are the ones who decide who makes it in the business and who gets to stay bussing tables in a Los Angeles dive bar for the rest of their lives. We call the former group Nepo Babies. They show up out of nowhere, start getting plugged by the media even though their performance is mediocre.
I'm not impressed by your performance.
And before you know it, they're in every single major release known to man. Here's an anecdote. I once read an article about the cast reunion for the 1995 crime thriller Heat, absolute banger by the way, and a so-called journalist asked Al Pacino who he would want to play his role if they made a remake. Without missing a beat, he said Timothée Chalamet. Sure, that sounds like a totally reasonable casting decision. Let's substitute the normally awkward and tranquilized Timothy Champagne for the, let's call it, expressive Al Pacino.
Cause she got a great ass!
In playing a coked up detective. I'm sure that'll go fucking well.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
You see what I'm saying? The flavor of the month for the skinwalkers is this fucking weirdo, so they're shoving him in every fucking thing, from the god-awful to the allegedly good. Before, it was Pedro Pascal for some fucking reason, and before that it was Chris Pratt until they found out he was a Christian. As an aside, please stop shoving this autistic, rat-faced twink down my throat. I don't care for him or his movies very much, so stop trying to psyop me into liking him. So the question remains, how do you identify a skinwalker? Normally, the easiest way would be to make a small incision in the dermis. Instead of blood, skinwalkers will ooze a fluorescent, acidic, highly corrosive goo from their insides. The issue with this is that, unfortunately, the skinwalkers have managed to repel all of my proposed anti-skinwalker legislation, which would have legalized making small incisions in the dermi of random strangers for the sole purpose of verifying that the person was indeed not a skinwalker. So you are likely to be charged with assault with a deadly weapon if you try this method. How convenient for them, isn't it? The second, more subtle method, even though you're very unlikely to meet one in person, is to just listen to what they talk about. While normal people talk about normal shit like the weather, the new hip drop tackle penalty, or their new favorite hentai, skinwalkers talk about who they know at Steinberg, Finkelstein, Hebrewberg, and Associates, their new undocumented transgender housemaid who, quote, lives in their home in exchange for labor, and, I wish I was fucking kidding, the abolition of fucking prisons. Normal people talk about things they find exciting and have passion for. Skinwalkers are Philistines who have surface-level discussions about the material wealth and current events as they pertain to their own limited understanding of the world. Or to be more straightforward, they talk about gay esoteric bullshit. You may never get a glimpse of what the inner world of the Skinwalkers looks like, which is probably for the best. Justin Bieber was hanging out with Diddy and look at him now. But at least you know what to look out for now.
Nice!
Trust your gut, and most of all, trust Cat Williams. If he says he doesn't like someone, then damn it, I don't like them either. Also, if you ever find out that I spontaneously drown in 3 inches of water, it wasn't my doing if you catch my drift.